everybody, welcome back to Entertaining the Thought. It's Saturday, June 23rd, and about 2.5 hours ago, Nickelodeon aired the Book 1 finale of Legend of Korra. And for those who may not know, Legend of Korra is actually my favorite show on television right now. It's, I wasn't really excited when I first heard of it because I'm not the biggest Airbender fan. Or at least I wasn't at the time. The first time I saw Airbender, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon series, was after my friend who worked at my local movie theater asked me if I wanted to see the Shyamalan Airbender movie because he was a big Avatar fan. And he was just like, "Well, I can get in. Did you want to come with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And you guys probably saw in my video, it literally is one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen. It's fucking terrible. And the reason I checked out the Airbender series was, like, I know a lot of Avatars. I know a lot of people who love this series to death. It can't be this bad. There's got to be something more to it. So I wanted to see what all the hype was about. So thankfully they were all on Netflix Instant, so I watched them all. And for the most part, the first time I saw it, I liked it. I thought the ending was kind of weak. Aang's resolution with Ozai, I felt was really weak. But other than that, it was a good, solid series. Plenty of laughs, plenty of good action, and really good animation, and good characters. So it was a good series. But Legend of Korra, I wasn't too psyched for, but after the first 2 episodes, I ended up really, really liking it. And that's because I just love the setting and tone of the whole thing. I love the fact that it takes place in like this 1920s Prohibition steampunkish era of Republic City, and you know, they finding new unique uses for bending, like the metal benders are now the cops, and pro bending I thought was really cool, and like they have those earth disc weapons and like all this really, really cool stuff with bending. So I really, really loved that, and I thought that was what was unique about Korra, and that's why I like Korra better than Airbender. But yeah, so I've been watching the series, and the season finale, the Book 1 finale, just aired this morning, and so I decided to make a little vlog about it. Overall, I thought the finale was good. It wasn't really mind blowing, but it had a lot of great set pieces, a lot of great action, some really, really interesting backstory. The thing with Korra is that the entire story feels very streamlined. There's a lot happens in a little time. So for example, episode 8 is where Tarlok, he decides to reinstate his task force. He decides to, and then Team Avatar decides to join up and, you know, do their Batman thing. And then Tarlok arrests them, starts putting non-benders into pretty much what are concentration camps. And then at the end of the episode, you find out Tarlok really isn't a good official. He's actually a bloodbender. And then in the next episode, you see that bloodbending taken away, and you also see flashbacks of Aang with Tarlok's father, and then you also see Korra's resolution to her getting captured. And that all happens in the span of 2 episodes. So that's really, really streamlined, really quick. It's not rushed, it's just really streamlined and quick. So, you know, they're just hitting all the beats really, really quickly. And so it was the same with here, because in the finale, you get Tarlok's backstory, you get Amon's backstory. I don't remember his given name. You get the resolution to that story. You get the resolution to Korra's journey to become the Avatar. You get a resolution between the Asami, Mako, and Korra love triangle. And you get set up for Lin Beifong gets resolved, and also General Iroh You see what he's all about. There's just a lot of things that they pack into each and every episode, and that's what's really interesting about the show. And I was mostly satisfied with everything that happened. I did like the fact that Korra did get her bending taken away, and it made sense that that uh, that even though she got her bending taken away, she would be able to airbend because she never really showed that before, and so that really wasn't. I have this. I guess this is kind of a theory, but not too much. But I have a feeling that except for the really, really, truly masters, the really big masters of bending, bending is a very physical thing. It's kind of built into your genetics. It's passed on from parent to offspring and so on and so forth. And it's kind of like it's built into your body. And so for somebody like Amon who's a bender and can blood bend, he can bend your physical attributes in such a way that it would block off your bending. And but since Korra didn't really airbend before that, she unlocked a new physical process in her body which Amon couldn't take. So he was able to. So that's why she was able to airbend probably, and so it did make sense for her to airbend. It was really cool to see her airbend, but the resolution of her getting her avatar powers back, while it was what I expected and made complete sense in my mind, because since bending is a physical thing, but being the avatar is more of a spiritual thing, and like with airbending and so forth, which airbending being more spiritual still plays into the physical part of bending. It makes sense that going into the avatar state would help Korra be able to get her bending abilities back, all of them. And so that's what happens in this episode. My only gripe with it was that it was in the last 2 to 3 minutes, similar to the Airbender ending, which was when Aang talks to a giant lion turtle and he's like, "Oh, I can energy bend now. I'm going to take your bending away." And that was kind of irritating to me. But it made sense in Korra. It's just I wish it I wish there was a longer scene with Aang, with her in the spirit world. Maybe like a 3-minute scene in the spirit world. Maybe Aang giving a monologue or them having a conversation together, and maybe you see a little bit of the young Aang in there, still kind of cracking wise and making jokes and being like, "Hey, look at me," which I thought would be funny even if he's 40 years old, because Toph didn't really change, so why should Aang have to change? But yeah, that was my only gripe, is that it happened in the last 2 to 3 minutes. But other than that, I thought that was a really good resolution to that. I like the fact that Korra's bending got taken away for a little bit, because that really, she did have to deal with that, and that's a real tough thing. If this is pretty much what she's known for, being the avatar, so when that's taken away from you, what are you really? And so I'm glad that she got to deal with that, and that'll probably come up later in book 2. General Iroh, I'm still not that crazy about Dante Bosco voicing General Iroh. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, he's Zuko's grandson, and he's also a firebender, so it makes sense that he would sound a little bit like Zuko, but he just sounds like Zuko, and that's a real problem to me, because I just can't think of anybody but Zuko when I hear that voice. So that I thought was irritating, but his character was interesting. I don't remember ever seeing, and I don't know why they've never done this before, but I don't remember ever seeing them use that Iron Man style of flying, where you put your hands at your sides and you just you fly, but you're using your fire bending so that you're using it as a propellant. And I don't know why they never used that before. Maybe they have, and I don't remember. But like, that's the first time I remember seeing. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Why haven't they done that before? I think I might have thought of that like one of the first things to do, because that's fucking awesome. And he was just flying around and like taking out the airplanes. By the way, that was another thing. Sato built Sato planes, which was pretty cool. And he was doing all these turns and flips and like just ripping these planes apart, and it was awesome. And so that was really cool. I like the fact that they didn't do Asami turning to the evil side. I'm glad that they didn't do that. There's still time, obviously, in book 2, but I'm glad that they didn't do that, because that would have been predictable. And the thing with shipping is that I mean, I hate to it's pretty shameful to admit, but I guess I have to. I am a bit of a shipper. I do support Bolin and Korra rather than Mako and Korra, because personally, it's just I just think that I just think they're a more interesting pairing. Bora, yeah, fuck it, they're Bora, whatever, Bora and Makora. And I think Bolin and Korra are a more interesting pairing than Mako and Korra, because I feel like Mako and Korra is like the Zuko and Katara of this series, but in this case they're supporting it, and I'm not crazy about that. I would rather it be Bolin and Korra. I guess that would be like Sokka and Katara, which would be weird, but whatever. And but I just support Bolin and Korra more, just because I think they're a more interesting couple. I think there's the opportunity for laughs and humor and merriment in there. But regardless, the shipping in this episode, obviously, Mako and Korra kiss and admit their feelings for each other, so that's one thing. And then there was a really big scene where Bolin saves Asami, so there's a chance for that there. There's a chance for a shipping there. So who knows what's gonna happen with shipping? That's the thing with series like this, like Airbender and Korra and Harry Potter, is that you care as much about character relationships as you do of the action. So like, you know, like I care as much about what if Ron and Hermione don't end up together. I care about that as much as, is Harry gonna defeat Voldemort? And so like it's the same here. It's like, will Mako and Korra end up together is almost as important, or pretty much as important, as is Amon going to take over Republic City. And so that's that. I always appreciate shows that do that really well. And so, sorry. And so, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I really think that that's what the series is strong with, and I just, it's such a great series. And the finale, while not mind-blowing, was really, really good. And if you haven't checked out Legend of Korra, you really have to. You're doing yourself a disservice. Legend of Korra made me appreciate Avatar: The Last Airbender a lot more. It's such a rich mythology. They built this amazing universe, and it just gets taken to the nth degree in Korra, and it's a really, really great series. Like, yeah, if you haven't seen Legend of Korra, just watch it, because it's amazing. I'm really, really happy that I decided to watch this show, because it's seriously the best thing on TV. And now that it's over, really the only thing I have to look forward to on TV during the summer is Louie, and which is also a really great show. And yeah, I don't have anything to look forward to in the fall except for maybe 30 Rock and How I Met Your Mother. Community's kind of in the toilet because Dan Harmon got fired. But other than that, yeah, the book 1 finale was good. One more thing, actually. It felt like a series finale. It felt there were a lot of pretty much nearly every loose end was tied up. If there are ones I can't think of right now, I can't think of them. But like it was structured a lot like a 12-episode anime series, like an Angel Beats or Madoka Magica, because the beginning, origin, setup, payoff, and ending, and it was a solid ending. It was like if they don't really need to make a book 2. They're going to, and if they don't, I'd be really upset. But they don't really need to, because everything was solved. There were little to no loose ends tied. Like, everything was set into place. Everything was good. So, like, it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens in book 2. I'm gonna assume time jump. That's my presumption. I'm gonna assume time jump. But we won't know for certain. But yeah, so like, but like I can see like maybe 10 years down the line, like, you know, Rohan being like a 10-year-old like airbender going like, and then like and then maybe like Korra just got like you saw her being like doing her Mother Teresa thing, like bringing back the bending to everyone, and like that would be, and like, you know, 10 years later, like maybe like, you know, a new threat shows up, and maybe like this is testing the Avatar more, or something like that. Or maybe they'll get into like what was really good in book 1 was that some of the political things were really, really good, and like maybe there could be a storyline with that. So there's a lot of potential for book 2. There's no hanging plot line, so they could just pretty much start with a blank slate, and it's going to be really interesting to see what they come up with next. And so I'm really excited. Legend of Korra is just an amazing show. Watch it if you haven't. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And it was just it was really, really great. So that's all I have to say on Legend of Korra. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments below, and be sure to watch Toonami tonight if you're watching this day of. So watch Toonami tonight, Adult Swim, midnight. We're gonna get that back. Also, Dead Man Wonderland is awesome. So until next time, this has been Entertaining the Thought. I'll see you guys later.